Zechariah doesn't hold his peace and questions the promises given by the angel Gabriel. Gabriel's response is, I stand in the presence of God. We are to believe God's messengers, the ones who stand in God's presence. There are counterfeits who have stories of being taken to heaven, but use wisdom and discernment. Those who stand in God's presence dwell in God's presence. You can see they have been with Jesus. Look for holiness, righteousness, and the fear of the Lord. Listen to such a one who dwells in God's presence and shows it through a consistent life of holiness, righteousness, and the fear of the Lord. Holiness means they are set apart. They aren't lovers of this world. They aren't like everyone else. And that's a good thing. Elizabeth understood at least some of what was in a man. Her own husband had trouble believing. Others would too. She keeps herself hidden until her pregnancy was obvious. Then people would believe when she shared the news. She had already felt the reproach. She didn't need any more. Gabriel is then sent to Mary, who is also troubled at the sight, who is also told, do not be afraid. She also questions, how can this be? She is not rebuked and punished as Zechariah, who has to remain mute for the duration of the pregnancy. Zechariah was a priest and had a biblical example of God giving a barren couple a child in their old age. Now, it was very important for Mary to understand this baby was going to come from God, and to not try to make it happen herself, like Abraham and Sarah got into. It was a good question. Mary is told that Jesus will have the throne of David. This is going to be the long-awaited King of the Jews. Mary submits to the plan. There were many other questions she could have asked. There were many things she could have wondered and feared. She holds her peace and submits. Mary visits Elizabeth, and everyone is full of the Spirit. Elizabeth, Mary, and Zechariah will prophesy. John and Jesus, still forming in the womb, are also filled with the Spirit. God has taken over this family. Elizabeth greets Mary as the mother of her Lord. What a confirmation for Mary! This was likely going to be the first person she was going to have to tell, and she didn't have to figure out how to break the news. The Lord took care of it for her. Our God is so good.